The thing's bought. This one was bought 99-cent store in Woodland Hills. Not only after police officers entrapped off of Winnetka, Ventura, but it's being illegal, and highly illegal in fact, by you transmitting and having a thermopatch right there. It came in a skull cup because they knew I liked skulls. The man in front of me let me borrow 15-20 cents to buy this. It was bought this year. It transmitted once, and it contained a screw that had the similar middle part of most of them, and does belong to something. It did transmit, and it did commit a crime, and participated in one as well. Today we contacted LG. We stated a claim to him. I stated what I wanted to do. As they're investigating, we'll call it back, because once we call back from the 714 number, as not only it states that everything in the phone completely set to default, we're going to be calling Metro PCS, which is going to be a third party, Philippines, to get the proxy set on the phone at the settings. First we're going to check it up, and then we're going to go for it. Now if you look at the screen, you see one shiny blur. What is that blur, and why is it blurring? It's blurring for a reason. Kind of like the penny that was left in place for me yesterday to find, that had the similar blur with similar things inside that I'll show you in a minute. We'll also be showing you what was found in my doorbell, and highly illegal, as I call it, the Black Widow transmitter. Transmitters that I find not only contain the black circular thing, but only one found so far in the AT&T home phone at the time of the White House crash, with serial numbers that are contained in there, that will lead to a diagnostics to be ran. We'll also tonight be contacting Samsung to give the diagnostics that they promised through chat when we give them the chat ID, and retrieve the answers that we've been waiting for, of the crash and all the suspects involved in the crime. Did you see the glitter come off next to the white sticker part? That means that it's actually live, or something is going on that's live. Did you see it? And that's right here. And that tells you something, because it's still active. And that's why you see blinking coming from in and out. You'll see right now again. Now these things are not supposed to be still alive when they're diffused with the batteries taken out, even though it is. You see the blurs coming in and out? Those blurs mean something. They mean something true. You see the active ray of light coming out of it? That means that it's alive. You see the ray? There's a ray of light coming out. If there's a ray of light coming out, that means there's juice inside and power coming out, even though the batteries are taken out, just like the TV and much more. Here goes the TV part. Now it's still alive is the whole problem, and that means something big, really big, because if it's still alive and still working, it means it's involved in something and participating in a crime. The crime is all targeting the White House, and the crime has been planned and plotted for over 15 years. Way more than that. As it was written, and everything was planned, just like the granite tabletops 15 years ago installed in my house that have cameras in them. It was planned that the guy that installed them would look like my father, to keep me distracted by looking at him and not paying attention to what he put inside. And it worked. And that was their plan, and it worked. And that's exactly what I'm stating, that all this was planned from the beginning. It was written. The signs of the times. Everybody put in my life. It was all written. this LG TV, knew it was coming here, and much more. This LG TV is a live TV with cameras. Even though it is broken and disassembled, it's still acting accordingly, just like that big screen that came off of it. But God knows what's in there. And it's scary just thinking about the level of surveillance that's still involved and still alive in there. It is not only catching everything, but working against me. And we're going to open it up tonight. And we're going to strip it butt naked. And we're going to find out what's going on in there. And we're going to contact LG and see what they have to say, but not the Philippines one, because we know that's a fraud. And they've been frauding everything from Metro PCS to anything else and failing to give the third party name that they really are, which is illegal, because that way you can't ask them to turn in certain feedback from your phone that they're required to by law. And if they don't state the name, you can never file the paperwork, and they're doing it illegally. Just like the 1974 Privacy Act paperwork was filled out and they didn't answer it, they did it illegally and broke Congress code. And that's a problem, because there's a big lawsuit behind that. Now, this license plates are off vehicles of the LAPD officers that entrapped me at the Costco. As you will notice, a lot are 7s, a lot are black and yellow license plates, like the LAPD drivers drive. A lot of actions coming off my bed right now is rumbling in the jungle, basically. The manipulation is very high, people. I want to state that yesterday when I went to probation, on the way to probation, as we took Hatteras straight down, there was a Spectrum van already waiting. We went down further, there was another van waiting. As we made a left onto Oxnard and made a right going towards Lindley and Oxnard. On the other side of Oxnard, as I was on opposite direction going towards Lindley, the opposite side, the left lane, was a white surveillance van. So what happened was, as we made the left, not only going straight down and making a right on Victory, by the Vallarta, but before the Vallarta on Balboa, there was another black and yellow plate. It was 4SMM S4 something. It was black and yellow on the corner of White Oak and Victory. Coming from White Oak, headed to pass Victory. We continued going straight, passing White Oak on Victory Boulevard, going towards Balboa area. Before getting to Balboa, we were in the left-hand lane, as on the left-hand side, in the right-hand side in the parking lot, where the orange line trails through, was another black and yellow plated vehicle. As we continued to go, riding beside of us was a dish van. All these vans are connecting my phone illegally, 714-770-4106, illegally hooking it up through internet, usually when it was Spectrum, till they realized they messed up so big about lying about having my phone and committing identity theft for the second time, and using my phone to block me from reporting a crime to Secret Service. The whole way there, it was nothing but entrapment, with surveillance van vehicles following us all the way there to keep my phone on internet. Not only the vehicles around us on the freeway, going up to 405, at a certain point between Nordhoff and Satakoy, there was 6 vehicles around us. Out of those 6 vehicles, 5 of them had no license plates, so they could not be marked down, but they were trailing. Usually we would have Ford SUVs, all black tinted, on each side of us, one behind and one in front, or Suburbans or Escalades, all federal vehicles. When I came home yesterday, you'll see if you check my Instagram account on Mark.Shalit.902, you will see this. You'll see me getting off the Orange Line approximately 6:30 to 7:30 on Reseda Boulevard, and the Orange Line. As I exited, there was 2 police vehicles, one after another, directly in front of the bus. As I got out, I noticed coming from Reseda, probably from my home most likely, 3 white Teslas and 2 black Suburbans or Escalades, all making a left onto Oxnard from Reseda, coming from my home. As not only familiar faces walked up that were put there as pawns for a reason, to manipulate and infiltrate the situation, and to keep me blinded by what was really going on around me, which you can't blind me, because I got a third eye, and I'm third eye blind. But anyways, at the gas station, federal vehicles all over, including white SUVs and black. Across the street from that was an SUV, LAPD black and white, pretending to pull over or pulling over a pawn in the chess game. As I took pictures, other vehicles began to pull out and noticed that they've been spotted. Continuous federal vehicles continuing pass by, back and forth, Teslas and all, including LAPD vehicles, other ones as well. As I reached, I believe it was Hatteras Street, you could already feel that they'd been in my home, which they were. Because when I got home, not only all kind of cameras put through different things, from pens and markers to everything else, were all pointed in my direction for when I came in the room, where I felt kind of stunned, but I knew they put more cameras in than somebody's been in my home. Not only from having video surveillance that is undetected and unknown of the assailants that came in my home many a times that I have video of, and will be sharing it with the judge to see what they've been up to. They will get the shocker of their life and really understand how deep they fell in the slumber. But now let's get back to Costco entrapment. And then after Costco entrapment, not only the same native Indian guy I was sitting next to in the outside patio deck area, not only the same Native American Indian man that was sitting next to me talking to me with the ponytail. On the next entrapment date was at the Topanga Mall, sitting next to me as well with all LAPD officers around. You can also spot Target entrapment with a friend of mine, or with an Indian lady as she's walking out of the Target, the same Indian lady in the Beverly Center with me as well, and next to me about 10 feet away, including LAPD officers. The entrapments are deep and big. This is the second time entrapment at Costco. Then the third time was entrapment by them selling me not only a smart LED TV, but after stating and giving the phone, my mom giving it to the TV salesman, and me stating I do not want no surveillance in it. I'm going to show you what we found in this thing. Not only when it's unplugged, this is still recording and giving illegal surveillance, but much more. So I'm going to show you on these little broken pieces of the LG TV of what I mean of the level these guys are working with, and it's a space age stuff. These guys are way advanced. As I know, they're still, even though they do 1986 signals still from the CIA, and still using mind manipulation, having my mom wake up out of a cold dream and yell at me for smoking a cigarette just to distract me by CIA using special devices to contact through the mind. They're not only abusing people through the mind, but not getting consent or permission from the individuals they're using on mind manipulation. It's not only illegal, but it's malice, it's injustice, and it's illegal. Highly illegal. I don't know who the CIA think they are. They may be smart people, but you don't take advantage of those. You don't turn those and use those against the crime against the White House neither. And don't think I don't know what you're doing. You may lead the blind to the blind, but I know exactly what you're doing and what you're up to. And you're not cooking my pot, you're cooking someone else's. I'm going to be cooking a pot for you, though. Best believe that shit. And your pot's going to boil real nice. And the CIA can also control people's vehicles and make them crash. Don't think it can't happen. It happened already many times that they've done this situation to innocent people. And people mysteriously wondering why this person died. But CIA can be some real assholes sometimes. They're real freaking jerks. You know what I mean? And so can FBI. They take advantage. And that's their problem. If nobody stands up, somebody's got to stand up and take a hit. So I'm going to do it for these people. Because they're so manipulated, they're walking themselves into their own holes and not realizing how good the CIA and FBI are manipulating them. It's not smart. You're not doing it the American way. That's most definite. Because you really don't give a shit about the people, but lying to them the whole time. And that's a pretty sad thing about it. Because what can you get in the end out of it? Money? Okay. Money could buy you so much happiness. But what is it really going to do for you? Nothing. But you'd rather sell out the people around you and turn the world ugly. And that's a sad fact of what you're doing right now. And you're hurting and torturing people. Not only leading them to be victims of hate, but victims of torture. While you're in other countries stealing their gas, natural gas out of their mountains, stealing their heroin and calling them terrorists, in the end, you're the terrorist. And you're the thief. Because you're stealing from them and then calling them terrorists, but instead working with them and getting them to work with you and then blaming them for what you're doing. And that's a sad fact of life. I'll speak my mind and I don't give a fuck who you are. CIA agent, FBI agent, LAPD, sheriff. I'm going to speak my mind regardless. I don't give a fuck who you are, and you're not going to threaten me or punk me any day of the week. I'm going to state that for a fact. And I don't give a shit who the fuck you think you are. Plain in fact, you're not going to take advantage of a child on my day or a female. And I'm going to stand up for that person. I don't give a fuck what kind of badge you're holding. Besides the fact, you're not going to commit a crime to the White House, and you're not going to block the Homeland Security phone lines and Department of Defense, or neither anybody else that's important that can help the situation out. Especially when I see explosives being loaded into a van. And that's a simple fact of life. It's a sad thing what you're doing to people. And then blaming the innocent people for what you're doing. So, I know. The greedy get greedier. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. True fact. That's the truth. But don't sell people out and then violate their homes and infiltrate them and manipulate them to turn brother against brother. Mother against sister. Daughter against father. Mother against son. Like you've been doing. And that's why these Bible codes will be unleashed on you. And the beast you will feel. The 666. Because the mark of the beast is coming. You don't understand the high power of the level of this. You need to shock people with Department of Water and Power. And you need them to dig holes into the ground. To erase the footage of the crash of May 4th, 2017. To hide the conspiracy and lies you're fucking filled with. It's nothing but greed. And you know what's your biggest fall? Greed. Along with the Illuminatis. And that's a hard fact of life as well. So at the end of the day, you're not going to tell the African Americans that you're going to exterminate the race, right? But I'm going to fight for them, and you're going to give them money to fuck me over, right? But you're not going to tell them the real truth behind me sticking up for them, right? Instead, you're going to call me all the names in the book, right? Drug me, poison me, have me doing weird things, and then blame me for them after, right? Of course you will. That's exactly your job, manipulation. You're the hard fact of it. And you're not part of the solution. That's the most definite thing. You're part of the problem. And that's the problem with ugly people like you today. And that's why our state and country is so fucked up. Because conniving motherfuckers like you, that I hate and I despise, and I hate the look in your eyes. And I hate your wives for being with a piece of shit like you. And that's the truth. So keep on playing your mind games. They're not fucking me, they're fucking you at the end of the day. So, you're gonna get it. And best believe I'm gonna give it to you. In a real way. Just wait. Only time will tell. For you, heaven or hell. I think hell. But best believe when the soul gets snatched, you're gonna burn forever. And I'm gonna make sure that. I'm gonna guarantee you that. I'm gonna make sure you got one hand on the heavens and the rest in hell with poking hot ice picks going through your eyeballs. And I'm gonna make you suffer like you've never suffered before. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that's gonna happen to you. Because I'm gonna make it happen. Now, I want you to get it together. And stop acting like a bitch. Please.